circles. Okay? Now, if we're going to graph circles, we need an equation. Okay? And our equation is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay? So h comma k is going to be the center of our circle. What do you suppose r is? The radius, yep. Alright, so if we're going to write our equation, parentheses, we start with parentheses, x minus 5 squared, make sure you put your squared up there. I have a feeling some of you are going to make your parentheses and forget to put that up there. Plus, parentheses, y minus 3 squared equals r squared, which is 4. So far, so good? Okay, so be careful. So now it's x minus negative 1, which gives us plus 1 squared. So it's always going to be opposite. Our sign will always be opposite of what our h and our k is. Plus, this is always the plus sign, y minus 7 equals 14 squared. 196. I forgot the squared. See, I told you that we're all going to forget our squares, right? All right, so let's look at number 4. Okay, it tells us that our diameter is 32. What's that make my radius? 16. Yeah, because we're on 4. We skipped 1. All right, so if it's x minus 0, do I want to put that minus 0 on there? So I'm just going to make it x squared plus y minus 9 squared equals 16 squared? 16 squared? 256? There you go. Okay, so let's look at 5. X plus 4 squared plus, what's it? Y squared, yep. Equals, now, if I take the square root of 47 and I square it, what am I going to get? I'm just going to get 47. It makes the square root go away. Just like the square root makes the squared go away, right? Alright. So, horrible writing equations? No. Alright, so now it gives us a circle. Right? What 2 pieces of information do we need? We need the center. We need the radius. So looking at your paper, my center is what? It's a point. Where is that point? No, not negative 4. No, not negative 3. As you're going to the right 3, so that's positive 3. Negative 2. Oh my God. We gotta go back to plotting points. And radius, what can I do to find my radius? I just count. 1, 2, 3, 4. My radius is 5. So my equation is squared y plus 2 squared, good, equals 25, good. Okay? All right, this next part is probably the hardest part. Okay, because I have the center, but what don't I have? I don't have the radius. But I know that from the center to any points on the circle is my radius. So in order to find my radius, I'm going to have to find well, I have the center. Well, I don't need the diameter, I just need the radius. But what do we call this? From here to here, I would call distance? I know. So if you recall, which distance, square root, you will square root x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. Right? So we need to find our radius, right? Radius equals the square root of, what's my x1? 9 minus 7, because it's my x's and my 2 points, squared plus my y, 10 minus my other y, 4 squared. So r squared, r equals the square root of 9 minus 7 squared, 4 plus 10 minus 4 squared, 36. So my radius is the square root of 40. Just leave it as that. Don't even put it as a decimal. Just leave it as the square root of 40, because when I put it into my equation, we've got x, what's my center? So x minus 9 squared plus y minus 10 squared equals my radius squared gives me 40. So if I leave it as the square root of 40, it's going to be a nice, pretty whole number for us when we square. Okay? We didn't do another one, don't we? I think so. Let's do 10. Radius equals x, 2 minus y, 1 squared plus y minus 10 squared, or radius 2 minus 1 squared plus negative 6 minus 10. Negative 16 squared, 256. So my radius is the square root of 257. So my equation, x minus 2 squared plus y plus 6 squared equals 257. Okay, not as horrible as what we thought it was going to be, right? Right? And like I said, this is the hardest part by far, is finding the distance. Right? Because it's giving me the circumference, and I need to find the radius. Well, circumference, 6 pi, equals, how do I find the circumference? What's my formula for circumference? 2 pi r. So 6 pi equals 2 pi r. Well, what's hooked onto my r? What's hooked onto my r? And 2. So 2 pi is hooked on. So what do I have to divide by? 2 pi. My pi's cancel. R is 3. So And there you go. Remember to square your R. Okay, let's look at 15. Because area is how do I find area? Pi r squared, thank you for somebody knowing that. So 361 pi equals pi r squared. What's hooked onto our r squared? Pi, so divide by your pi, goes away. 361 equals r squared. How can I find r? Square root of it. Again. Okay. Here's one question for you. Did we even have to take square root? Do we need r? Not necessarily, because we really like to have r squared, right? Because I've got x minus 2 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals r squared is 361. Fun time said by all. All right. So it gives us an equation. My center is 5, 1. Okay, I heard some negative 5s. Why isn't it negative 5? Yeah, because it's going to be the opposite of the sign that's in there. And what's my radius? 8. Yep. Okay, so 18, my center is 0, negative 10. How, if that's r squared, how can I find r? Take the square root of that guy. Okay, so that's my radius, right? So if my radius is 6.5, be very careful because I screwed this up too when I was doing it. It's asking us for the diameter, which is 13.